A state line can turn a normal road trip into a criminal case in less than 1 minute. And if you carry the way you do in Missouri without checking the next state first, you could break the law before your coffee gets cold. Quick question before we continue. Are you subscribed? Because what I'm about to reveal could keep you from making a mistake that follows you for years. Hit that button now and let's get into this. If you live in Missouri, you already know the state is friendly to gun owners. A lot of people hear that and relax. That is exactly where the problem starts. Because the moment your tires cross into another state, Missouri stops making the rules. The next state does, and that next state may not care that you were perfectly legal 10 seconds ago. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the big things every Missouri gun owner needs to know before crossing state lines. Not the internet rumors, not the my buddy told me version. The real world stuff that matters when you're driving, stopping for gas, getting pulled over, checking into a hotel, or trying to make it home without turning a bad day into a nightmare. First thing, and this is the part most people get wrong, Missouri freedom does not travel automatically with you. Missouri allows permitless carry for many lawful adults. That makes a lot of people think, I'm good everywhere. No, you're not. Permitless carry is a Missouri rule. It is not a national pass. It is not a magic shield. And it definitely does not mean every other state will treat you the same way. Here's what just happened in a lot of gun owners' minds. They heard constitutional carry and translated it into, I don't need to check anything. That is the mistake. Missouri does recognize permits from every state that issues them. But that does not mean every state recognizes Missouri the same way. Some do, some do not. Some recognize Missouri only if your permit meets certain conditions. Some care about your age. Some care whether you are a resident. And some states, like Illinois, are famous for making this much more complicated than people expect. Let me break this down for you. In Missouri, an optional carry permit still matters, even if you do not need one to carry at home. Why? Because when you travel, that permit becomes your travel document. Think of it like this. Inside Missouri, permitless carry may be enough. Outside Missouri, a permit can be the difference between lawful carry and unlawful carry. That is why so many people skip the permit, then get shocked later when they find out another state will not honor Missouri's permitless carry status. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Even when a state recognizes your Missouri permit, that does not mean the rules inside that state look like Missouri. You may be legal to carry there, but not legal to carry in the same places. One state may allow carry in restaurants that serve alcohol. Another may not. One state may require you to tell an officer right away during a stop. Another may only require disclosure if asked. One state may have strict rules about magazines, certain firearm types, or posted property signs. So if your plan is, they honor Missouri, so I'm set, slow down. Recognition is step one. The local rules are step two, and step two is where good people get burned. Here's the smart way to think about it. Before you cross the line, ask 3 simple questions. First, does that state recognize my Missouri permit, if I have one? Second, if I do not have a permit, does that state allow me to carry at all? Third, what places are off limits there, and what are the vehicle rules? If you cannot answer those 3 questions, you are not ready to cross that line armed. If you're finding this helpful, imagine what you'll learn in my next video about the exact words to use when an officer asks if you have a firearm in the car. Subscribe so you don't miss it, because that one small conversation can change everything. Second, you need to understand the difference between carrying a gun and transporting a gun. These are not always the same thing. And when people mix them up, that is when interstate travel gets messy. There is a federal rule people often call safe passage. The basic idea is this. If you can legally possess the firearm where you start and where you end, federal law can protect you while you travel through a tougher state. Sounds great, right? But here's the crazy part. That protection is not a free-for-all. It has conditions. The firearm should be unloaded. It should be locked away. And it should not be easy for you to grab from the passenger area. If you have a trunk, use it. If you do not have a trunk, use a locked container and keep it out of reach. Now imagine this. You leave Missouri and head east. In Missouri, you normally carry loaded on your person. Then you cross into a restrictive state and keep doing the same thing because I'm just passing through. That may be a huge mistake. Safe passage is strongest when you are transporting the firearm, not carrying it in the ready-to-use way you do at home. And here's the part nobody talks about enough. Do not assume safe passage covers every detour, every long stop, or every side trip. If your road trip turns into sightseeing, shopping, or an overnight stay in a state with tough laws, things can get risky fast. I'm not saying every stop is illegal. I'm saying you should never act like safe passage is a blanket pass for anything you want to do. It is safer to think of it as narrow protection, not broad freedom. Let's use Illinois, because that border catches a lot of Missouri drivers off guard. Illinois does not generally recognize concealed carry licenses from other states. That alone surprises people. But Illinois also says a non-resident with a valid carry license from their home state may carry a concealed firearm within a vehicle while traveling through Illinois. Read that carefully. Within a vehicle. That does not mean you can hop out, fuel up, and stroll around armed like you are still in Missouri. If you leave the vehicle unattended, Illinois says the firearm should be stored in the locked vehicle or a locked container in the vehicle. That is a very different world from normal Missouri habits. So if you are a Missouri gun owner with no Missouri permit at all, this is where things get real. Your permitless carry comfort zone may not help you once you hit Illinois. That optional permit you skipped, suddenly it matters a lot more. Third, let's talk about places you cannot carry, because crossing state lines does not erase location-based restrictions. Missouri itself has a long list of places where carry can be restricted, even for permit holders. We are talking about police stations, courthouses, jails, government meetings, airport secure areas, many school facilities, child care areas, some places that serve alcohol, churches without consent, posted private property, large stadiums, hospitals, and more. And here's something useful in Missouri. In many of those places, keeping the firearm inside your vehicle on the premises is not a criminal offense, as long as you do not remove it or brandish it. That vehicle rule is helpful, but do not get lazy with it. The moment you step into another state, their off-limits list takes over, their sign rules take over, their school rules take over, their definition of concealed, transported, and accessible takes over. Hey, 73% of people watching right now aren't subscribed. Don't be part of that group. Join the gun owners who get these updates first, because one law change or one bad assumption can cost way more than a click. Hit subscribe. Now, this is the part that shocked me when I first started digging into interstate carry years ago. One of the easiest places to make a mistake is not a bar, not a courthouse, not a police stop. It is a school zone. Not just school property, a school zone. That means the area around a school can create federal issues too. Most people never think about that because they're just driving to work, taking kids to practice, or passing through town. But if you are armed and traveling, school zone rules can become a real trap, especially in a state that did not issue your license. Here's what most people think. I'm in my car, I'm fine, maybe, maybe not. And that is the problem. A lot of gun cases start with normal behavior mixed with the wrong location. You are not trying to do anything bad. You are just trying to get somewhere. But the law does not always care about your intent as much as it cares about where you were and how the firearm was stored. Here's a hypothetical example to explain this. Let's say you live near St. Louis. You leave Missouri carrying the same way you always do. You cross into Illinois for a family event. On the way, you stop near a school, then grab food, then leave the gun in the car while you go inside somewhere. In your mind, nothing dramatic happened. But legally, you may have stacked to several issues without even knowing it. That is why I keep saying this is not just about owning the gun. It is about how, where, and under what state's rules you possess it. Now, quick legal note, this is educational information, not legal advice. Always consult an attorney for your specific situation. Fourth, you need a traffic stop plan before you travel, not during the flashing lights. Have you ever wondered why simple stops go bad so fast? It is usually because the driver starts guessing. Guessing is poison in legal situations. Before you enter another state, know whether that state requires you to inform the officer that you are armed. Some states require immediate disclosure. Some require it only if asked. Some handle vehicle carry differently from on-body carry. And if you're passing through Illinois with a valid home state license, state guidance says that if an officer asks, you disclose that you have the firearm, identify where it is, and allow the officer to secure it during the stop. That means your game plan should be boring, calm, and simple. Hands visible, no sudden movements, no reaching toward the gun, no speeches about your rights in the first 5 seconds. No trying to be clever. If your firearm is locked away for transport, leave it there. If state law requires disclosure, do it calmly. If it does not, still follow the law exactly as written. This is not the moment for internet swagger. Fifth, do not forget flying. Some people think, I'll just avoid the driving laws and fly instead. Well, that can be easier, but only if you do it right. Firearms are not allowed in carry-on bags. They must be unloaded, placed in a locked, hard-sided container, checked with the airline, and declared. Ammunition also has rules, and airlines can add their own policies on top of the federal baseline. So if you toss a loaded handgun into a backpack and head to the airport like it is a normal Tuesday, you're asking for trouble before you even hit security. But wait, there's something even more important. Your airline paperwork being correct does not fix the law at your destination. If you land in a state with tighter gun rules, that state's laws are waiting for you the second you pick up your bag. Travel method changes. Legal responsibility does not. Laws change fast. like really fast. Subscribe now so you're never caught off guard when a new ruling, policy change, or reciprocity shift hits the state you travel through most. Staying updated is part of staying legal. So here's the bottom line. If you own guns in Missouri and you plan to cross state lines, you need a checklist. Number 1, know whether the next state recognizes your Missouri permit. Number 2, if you do not have a permit, understand that Missouri permitless carry may stop at the border. Number 3, know whether you should carry on your person, keep the gun in the vehicle, or transport it unloaded and locked. Number 4, learn that states off-limits places, especially schools, government buildings, posted private property, and airport areas. Number 5, have a traffic stop plan before you leave the driveway. And number 6, never assume I'm a good guy is a legal defense. It is not. If you remember one thing from this video, remember this. Missouri law protects you in Missouri the moment you cross the state line. See 2026 Script Scene Splitter. AI GitHub.